Yo guys, what's going on? This is Yorkie Man here, and welcome back to another episode of Bringing Back Bolton. And now this has been a wild and crazy journey for me since we've been recording this series and since choosing to play as Bolton. I've learned a lot about debt management, a lot about free transfers, and a lot about what you need to try and survive in the Football League. We are in the Championship. There has been something transpire. There's no need for me to talk about it. Let's just show you. Yes guys, we've done it. Bolton have done it. We're going to the Premiership. We did it in the playoffs. I cannot believe it. We managed to do it in the playoffs. A Tom Cannon goal in the 88th minute means that Bolton are going to the Premiership. We've finally done it. The debt, we don't have to worry about none of that anymore. Bolton are back where they belong. We are back as a Premiership side. Oh, what a glorious moment. That's right, guys. We have just gained promotion to the Premiership, and I cannot quite believe it. Bolton promoted. We do end up winning the playoff final, and I think this is the first time I've ever won a playoff final, so I'm absolutely over the moon about this one. A absolutely fantastic playoff run. Let's see how we made it to the final, though. That's what's important here. Let's see what we did to get us to the final and what players we brought in. So it only makes sense that we start with the players out, and you see how we managed to bring so many new players in. Canela left the club for 15.5 million plus add-ons. There was no way I could turn this down. I remember when we first signed him, I was saying that I didn't rate him, so on and so forth, but there was no way we could turn this deal down. Basically, that money has cleared the debt. It meant that we had more in the bank than we could have ever imagined, and a brilliant deal for the club moving forward. But he wasn't the only man that made us some money. Niels Frolling left as well for 7.5 million. Could eventually rise to, I think, about 9 million, something like that. So he was all right for us. He wasn't fantastic, but two big transfer fees out. And I remember saying that I wasn't sure whether we were going to spend any money. I didn't know what we were going to do. With this amount of money coming to the club, it only made sense to me to start bringing in some more talent that might help us push towards getting promotion. So that was exactly what we did. For the first time, we spent some money, and the players we brought in were Aaron Connolly, Bruno Jado, who is one of the better players, a Portuguese central midfielder, very decent player. Aaron Connolly we brought in. He's the Brighton youngster. Obviously, we signed him from Swansea for 450k. A very good player as well. We signed Johnny on a free, so that doesn't make a difference. And you saw that we had Amar and Monday already coming into the team. Amar has been fantastic, by the way. And we signed Pepe Robles, a young Spaniard from Barcelona B. I thought, you know what, this might as well be the time that we pick up a player like this, actually spend a little bit of cash. He looks like he's going to be fantastic in the future. But obviously, when I was making these signings, I was making them with the idea that let's sign some players to try and push for the Premiership. I didn't know we'd actually get there. So I'm not sure how these guys will fare and feature in the Premiership. I'm hoping when you get Premiership football, right, they give you a lot of money. They bankroll you usually about 30 million. Not sure how this squad will do in the Premiership, to be 1,000,000% honest. But sounds good, doesn't it? Bolton in the Premiership. That's going to be said a lot over this episode. So let's indeed see how we made it to the Premiership. It's such a good feeling, guys. We had some decent results, to be honest with you. Went on some good runs. But the league table was the same. We could never, ever catch up to Southampton. It was a real frustration. The top two kind of ran away with it. Reading, Southampton, they dominated it. And then we played some games towards the back end that meant that we finished third. So we'd play Birmingham first. We did play against Birmingham first, and we drew 1-1. We scored a late goal again, Tom Cannon, and I cannot explain how much Tom Cannon meant that we are in the Premiership, because he did a lot of the legwork in these last games. He scored the important goals that we needed to get us Premiership football, and then we drew against Birmingham and had dreaded penalties. Now, being a England fan and a Leeds fan, I thought playoffs and penalties, there's no way we're getting through this. Not a chance. I don't win penalty shootouts, and it's certainly not going to be this one. Well, we won it. We won the penalty shootout. And that meant we were going to the final. I was playing against Brentford. Now, Brentford have kept a lot of their best players. They've got a very good squad. Said Ben Rama actually scored the goal for them. They've still got Ollie Watkins. They've got Nemecha, who I'm actually going to look at for next season up top. They've still got Pinnock. They've got a very good team. You know, by the by, they've got a very good team. And they scored first. And when they scored, I thought, oh, we're in for it then. But we really started amping up the pressure. Tom Cannon scoring in the 21st minute. And then as time was ticking down, I was like, oh, is this going to be another extra time and penalty job. Is this the situation we're going to find ourselves in again? And no, Tom Cannon did not want that to happen. Scored in the 88th minute, sent the Bolton fans at Wembley into the raptures, and that meant that we got Premiership football. Bolton back in the Premiership, and that's how we did it. And let's see how the Premiership table, we will be looking at the Premiership table now to see some of the teams that we will be coming up against. Let's see how the Championship table finished. So this is the Championship table at the end of the season. You could see our running towards the end was a lot of draws, but Southampton and Reading did it quite comfortably, to be fair, and Southampton's squad was ridiculously strong, so it does not surprise me. Teams going down to Middlesbrough, Hull and Blackburn. It was a very good season for us. Now let's take a look at the Premiership and the teams we will be playing against next season. But 3 of those teams will not be Crystal Palace, Brighton or Nottingham Forest. We will come up against my side Leeds. There's some great teams in this league. It's going to be very difficult for us, I think, first season. We really don't have a good squad. We don't have a good enough squad. If you was putting money on anyone going straight back down, it's got to be us, because our team for a Premiership level, I'm no fool. I know that it is not good enough for this level. So it's going to be very interesting to see what we could do in pre-season, see what players we can bring in, see what players we choose to keep around, because I've got a fairly decent sized squad, but then at wholesale, it's not good enough. It's just not good enough. There's a lot of players in there that were, in my opinion, just scraping Championship quality. We just managed to have the team play really well as a team. We mixed between the 4-4-2 and the usual counter tactic. Was the counter tactic that actually managed to seal us promotion. We used that for all the playoffs apart from the first leg against Birmingham. And to be honest with you, when I look at the team, there's a lot of names that probably now aren't good enough for this level. I don't know what money we're going to be given, which is going to be the big thing, but financially now we should be in a good position. Although we were in a good position whether we went up or not, I'd kind of put the club with the transfers in January into a position where we were going to be out of debt. There's about £8.4 million worth of debt. We would have been out of it. So as you can see, the overall balance is 10 million, but it does appear we do have our budgets for next season. We are going to be given 33.6 million. Very much expected it to be around that number. I think I've said a couple of times, usually when you get your first promotion to the Premiership, it's usually around that. Also, I just want to mention right now, there's a lot of difference in light on my face. The sun is having an absolute field day outside. So every time I move in a certain position, you're getting more and more sun on my face. But anyway, guys, 33 million is a decent budget for us, but again, with the team we've got, it ain't going to build no super team, so we're going to have to rely heavily on the team we've got. Now, this is a weird mindset probably to have, but going into the league next season and the Premiership, I'm going to look at it as a free hit. I'm going to look at that season as a complete free hit. If we come back down, does not matter, because we've paid the debt off, we've got the money. I'll build an absolute monster of a team with that money then in the Championship. We'll go straight back up and be in a stronger position, because I've got to be 100% honest, I weren't expecting to get Premiership football. I've never won a playoffs. So this is a first, and this was not what I expected. So it'd be interesting to see what we could do with that 33 million, what kind of players are about on transfers, but I think it will probably be scouring the Championship teams, looking at Championship quality players, also bringing through the youth that we've already got and hoping that they can do a job in the Prem. The team overall is not a bad team. There were some standout performers this season, and as seasons have gone on, I've done my best to endeavour to make sure that the team is a lot younger. You've got players like Leighton Clarkson coming in, Tom Cannon, Dylan Levitt, Pinto, Connolly, Mengi. We do have quite a young team with some great young players in the backup positions. So the team is decent. There are some players that need to go that probably aren't quality enough for this level, and that's without a doubt. But when I brought in a player like Bruno Giardo, I was thinking he could probably do a job in the Prem. So we did have one eye on it, but I am nervous. I'm not going to lie. I am worried. The Premiership is going to be a difficult, very, very difficult for us. It's a high, but we do have the 21-year-old Fernando, the Mexican. He's been Valzelula. I can never say his name, so we stick with Fernando. He's been fantastic for us and continues to be fantastic for us. Hopefully we can hold on to him. I know it doesn't say that he's wanted now, but after the season he's just had and the seasons he keeps having, it's only a matter of time before teams come in for him. But the weird thing is in central midfield, I don't feel that worried. We've got Fernando, we've got Bruno now, we've got Leighton Clarkson and Dylan Levitt, as well as Pepe Robles, who has come in as well, a great young player who I think is going to improve. So I actually think the midfield's fairly decent. I think where we really need to work on, that is going to be the wings. For wingers, we are definitely not strong enough, in my opinion. If we look at the positions at the team right now, and we look at the wingers, you've got D'Agostino, who, a youngster, has been okay. Not a bad season. Definitely can't do it in the Premiership. Charlie Wellens, we've agreed a future transfer. Charlie Wellens will be leaving us. We've got Diogo Brass, decent player. I'll give that to him. And Frank Avina, Rayleigh, who are the wingers. Johnny and Connolly are strikers. They're not wingers, and Camilino will go back to Man United. So we're in a bit of a situation where we don't really have talented wingers. So wingers is certainly going to be a position we look for, and maybe one more centre-back of a Premiership quality and a decent backup goalkeeper. So that's going to be my main focus in pre-season. Can we bring in real quality wingers? And that's probably where the bulk of the money's gone. I'm going to put my faith in Tom Cannon, Aaron Connolly and Bruno Philippe and Johnny next season up top and see what they can do. All fairly young, all fairly decent players. Do I know if they're going to be able to do it at Premiership level? I have no idea, but I hope Tom Cannon can. And I'm going to put every faith and belief in him that he can, because he's scored 20 goals this season, and it's not just the fact he scored 20 goals. It reminds me a lot of Ryan Edmondson when we had him in this team. He also reminds me of the fact that he scores the important goals. That's the biggest part about this. He gets the important goals. He doesn't just score you 20 goals. He scores the ones that matter. So I'm giving him faith. I'm going to have faith in him, and hopefully he can do it. I have no idea how this is going to work out. Again, did not expect Premiership football at this stage. So as we saw there, the board did set the initial budgets 33.62 million and 525k on the wages. Of course, the fans and the board rejoice in our promotion, and I'm extremely happy with that. Cannon shines as Bolton wins, and he fires Bolton into the Premiership. Bolton are back to being a Premiership club. Let's quickly actually take a look at the debt. I don't think I went through that. The debt is now 8.5 million. It's gone, it's gone. We've got the TV money from a full season now, which is like 80, 90 million, whatever that is. The debt's gone, it's basically non-existent anymore. We don't have any more debt, and it's such a huge weight lifted. When you think about where this save started to where we're at now, the debt's always held us back. And it just feels amazing to know that that's not going to be an issue now for the rest of this save. Although, fingers crossed, that shouldn't be an issue now for the rest of this save. Right, it's time for the end of season awards. Tom Cannon, of course, is the striker in the team of the season. I'm surprised, actually, that Besic is in the team of the season as well. But Fernando won player of the season. That doesn't surprise me. Leighton Clarkson came in second. I would have expected Cannon to be higher up there. But as you could see, percentage-wise, it was very, very close. Clarkson actually being a fantastic free transfer, having a good season. It's really crazy how well we've done with free transfers. It just impresses me every time. Aaron Connolly gets goal of the season. Clarkson gets signing of the season and young player of the season. Fernando, not a surprise whatsoever. The season review is, as we see, I don't really pay much attention. The 2019 Bolton side, you can actually take a look at that. But we're not going to bother with that. The club vision and the expectation for next season is exactly as I wanted. Fight bravely against relegation. I genuinely am going to be very open-minded to the idea of relegation next season, and the fact that at least if we fight bravely against it, we get relegated. It's going to give us the financial gains that we needed to bounce straight back with a very good squad, hopefully dominating the league. Tom Cannon also winning top goal scorer this season in the league, just in front of Pukas, who is a player I would have looked to pick up if he wasn't part of the Reading promoted side. And Daniel Messer, never heard of him. Barnsley, Colombian's got to be good, hasn't he? Fernando also getting young player of the season, playing 42 appearances in the league this season, 4 goals, 6 assists, average rating of 7.23. I can't complain at that whatsoever. Also, Tom Cannon finding his way into the team of the season. But anyway, guys, we are going to call it there. It's been another good episode. I hope you've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it. I'm enjoying bringing back Bolton. I hope you guys are. Please make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you in the next one. We're going to go now. I'm going to prep for a Premiership season because Bolton are back in the Premiership, and I'm excited to see what we can do in the Prem. I will come back in half a season's time, and let's see where we've managed to get with Bolton. It's been a fantastic season. I've really enjoyed it. I've enjoyed the players we brought in, and I really enjoyed getting my first ever playoff win. That was a fantastic feeling. I hope you're all staying safe. I hope you're all well. The world is just twisting upside down constantly, and I appreciate anyone that is supporting me right now. And if you ever need anything, I'm here to support you too. Take it easy, guys, and I will see you in the next one.